Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. Once again, my name is Diana Lucero.
Hey everybody, I'm Edgar Aguilar right here at CHIRLA TV.
So last time we had Angelica Salas, the Executive Director of the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Today we have two of the youth organizers joining us. We have Kathia Garcia, she is an LA local, Casa LA alumni, and the Wise Up organizer. She works with high school students.
And we also have here Melody Klingenfuss. She is actually the statewide organizer for the California Dream Network. She is a graduate of California State University, Los Angeles, and you got your master's at the University of Southern California.
Yes.
Well, welcome you two. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My family and I migrated to the U.S. when I was 11, and the first place that we arrived to was Lincoln Heights. So I grew up there. I went to high school at Abraham Lincoln High School. Then my senior year, which is kind of like the story of a lot of undocumented youth, I saw that, I was undocumented, or I found out that I was undocumented because I got accepted to UCLA, but because of the money, I didn't have a social security number, I couldn't go to UCLA. So I ended up going to community college, Glendale Community College, where I joined Voices, an undocumented student group there. And from Voices, I found out about CHIRLA, which, is the organization that actually helped me file my DACA application for the first time. And I started becoming involved. And since then, I found the passion that I have, to work with the immigrant youth as well.
So at the same time that was happening with Kathia going on to higher education, a similar path was happening to me. So I came to the U.S. when I was 9 years old. I grew up there without parents, so it was a very rough childhood. And actually, at the age of 9, I was reunited with my biological mom, which was the most amazing experience. I can't tell you how that hug felt, that first hug. And I remember, I think the craziest thing for me were the palm trees in Los Angeles, the first time seeing a palm tree. And I knew the privilege that I had here in the U.S. and my pride and the way I wanted to make my mom happy was through my education. So I was going to high school as well, and I found out I was undocumented when I was applying to college. I think it's always that first question, right? Where's Social Security? And you're like, what is that? And it hits you like a bat to the face that you will not have the same rights as somebody else, and you're gonna have to work twice as hard to get half as far as everybody else. And my dream school was actually USC, so it was the opposite of Kathia.
But we're still friends.
We were going through the same obstacles, and we actually had to teach ourselves, right, how to be empowered. I didn't have the privilege to get involved at Cal State LA. I just didn't find my group there or a family there, but I found it at CHIRLA, just like Kathia did as well, in 2015 as a volunteer and as an intern with the California Dream Network.
All right, so you both are DACA recipients then?
Yeah.
Both of you, awesome. I mean, how was that process? Was it like scary? Was it like, what was it like?
So for me, I think I can speak because my experience was a little different. I didn't get DACA till 2015. Okay. So DACA came out in 2012, but there was a lot of complications for me to apply, and so I know life without DACA, and that life is very difficult, it's painful, it's lonely, it's all types of hardships thrown at you every single day. And so when I finally got my DACA in 2015, I was able to apply to any job I wanted and actually fix my resume. And so for me, the process was, I was very anxious, but I was also ready for it.
So that sense of relief, that, oh my God, I got this. What about you? Did you have a similar feeling? Was it like?
Well, I remember the exact day when we received the news, right, that Obama made the announcement of DACA. I always imagined my life as being undocumented, right? Or I still consider myself undocumented, but having to go through having to do jobs where you get paid under the table, right? So for me, that was kind of like, wow, this is really happening. The opportunity that I needed to get to be able to show this country that basically has shown us or has made me feel that they don't want us here, that I can contribute so much, right?
the community outside of folks that are undocumented, we hear a lot of terms like dreamer, AB 540, documented, and so there's lots of ways to identify. So I really wanted to hear from you, and how do you identify and why?
I identify myself as undocumented. I have DACA, and again, I said it like I'm privileged for that, but I mean, it's just, it's a document, right? It can easily be taken away. And I don't want to also separate myself from like the rest of the folks. Like having DACA doesn't make me any better, right? Just like my parents, I'm undocumented. Mm-hmm.
I identify as undocumented as well. I think DACA is a privilege, but it's not a permanent status, and we still need a permanent solution for ourselves and for the 11 million here in this country. And at the same time, I know that even if I were to ever fix my status someday down the line, I think in my head, I will always be undocumented, no matter what. And I think that's actually a blessing, because it checks me on my privilege, and it helps me fight for those who may not have the realization that they do have rights, and they may not understand their full power. And I think for me, I do identify as a dreamer, because I came into the movement when that term was first being used and really taking up across the nation. And so I just loved and identified with it, because I'm like, yes, that's me. I have a vision for my life and for my family. I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, and I want to make that a reality. But with that understanding also came the full realization that a lot of folks don't identify with the term, because they feel that it's fleeting, that it only means that our dreams are just that, dreams, so they'll never become a reality. And of course, that's completely valid, and that's a really different perspective that we need to include in the movement as well.
I think it's amazing all the work you do. You folks are organizers for CHIRLA, and I understand that you work with the high school population. Can you talk a little bit of what it's like to work with high school students?
Yeah, they're like your children.
I always tell them, you guys are my hijos. Like, I don't have kids, but I don't need kids with you all. I think it's definitely like, for me, having the opportunity and privilege to work with like youth that young, right? Like, really kind of like motivates me to keep going, because they're just so full of energy and passion. And there's also that kind of like stereotype that a lot of our community members have against like high school students, right? Like, hey, they don't care about the issues happening. Well, that's not the case. I work with them every day, and every day they come Sundays, like at 9 a.m. to learn about everything happening with the immigrant community. So that's pretty dope. And I just feel blessed, and I'm so happy to be working with them, because I know that they're the present, they're the future, and they're the ones that are gonna be changing this society, you know, for immigrant families.
And let me just say, Kathia, I don't know, she has some magic, because these kids, they're amazing out there doing a lot of civic engagement work. I know when they do voter registration, they're just so cute. No one can turn away from them. So they register so many people. If you want to mention, I want to see that, because I'm on the ground with Kathia, and the images that I see when they're registering an older person. So you see an older person with a youth. They look so young, and you see the generational difference, but it's so inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, they do look really, they look pretty cute. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's just, it's just powerful to see whenever we have the adult members like go out with our youth. It just shows like how much power we have, right? And what we can do if we bring different generations together, because I think that's really what our movement needs. We need parents marching next to the, holding their hands, right, of the youth to make a change. And I just see it like in their faces, the willingness to want to do a change here. And I know that they're gonna continue to do that. Even if we had to walk for like 4 hours, you know, doing canvassing, getting out the vote, or registering voters, which is really hard to do.
work with the youth, right? You work with the college components with the California Dream Network. Can you talk a little bit about your experience working with the college component?
Yes, so the California Dream Network is the program that changed my life in 2015. And of course, I know I'm from CHIRLA and I'm gonna say amazing things about the program, but I really am just speaking as Melody, as just a young woman who wants to change the world. I'm just speaking from that perspective.
Let's hear it.
So when I came in 2015, I didn't think there were other people like myself. And one of my high school friends posted about this internship, and it basically said, if you're undocumented, make sure you apply. And I was like, what? There's more people like me. And I clicked on it, and I was so excited. I got a call really late at night because, you know, organizers always leaving things to the last minute sometimes because we're drowning in work. But I was ready for that phone call, and I interviewed, and I got the internship. And I know Kathia was one of the interviewers, actually, so it all comes full circle with her. And I was just ready to learn everything. They took me to my first protest. They took me to my first rallies. We did voter registration. I learned about the history of the movement and how we are carrying that on our shoulders. And so I fell in love with the program. I fell in love with CHIRLA's mission, and I decided that I wanted to dedicate my whole life to the movement. And as the California Dream Network organizer now, I'm the happiest person. And so we are really proud to...
What campuses do you work with?
Oh, we work with so many. So we're actually the largest network of undocumented students, but not just students. We also have workers, and we also have allies, which are U.S. citizens who join our fight. So we have over 30 campuses across California. So the CDN is a monster.
Wow.
It's huge. And the campuses are at different levels of engagement, right? There isn't one blueprint where I can tell you, oh, this is the magic formula that we use across each campus. No, we need to adapt to each campus, to their population, to their needs, their demographics, the school support. And so some of the regions, so we have 5 regions in the CDN. So we have the Northern region, Central Valley, Coastal region, Southern region, and then Los Angeles. So just LA is its own region. So it's huge. And we have 2 other organizers as well that are doing amazing things in Northern California and in Southern California as well. And so through the network, we empower young leaders to know their rights, to get out there, and really we give them wings, because my hope is that they replace me someday. That's my job.
I think that's something that a lot of folks really need to remember, that it wasn't always so pro-immigrant.
Yeah.
And I really love that you say, how you highlight that it used to be undocumented and very afraid. And so as these women, these strong leaders that you are in your community, how did you get there? Were you just born an amazing organizer? Like, how?
I think it really took a lot of processing, right? Like getting familiar with what it means to be an immigrant, what it means to be undocumented, and really switching that negative rhetoric that a lot of folks had against undocumented people. And now we hear it more, right? From this government. You're a criminal if you're undocumented. You're this, right? So for me, it's it basically took a lot of decolonization of this negative views against me, right? Against who I was, and change it back to hey, I'm a mujer. I'm undocumented, but I'm resilient, right? Because I didn't have a straight path.
Yes.
I had to go through all these mountains and obstacles, but I still made it. I still graduated from college, and I'm doing now what I love to do. So it took a lot of acceptance about who I am, but also a lot of leadership development, and that leadership development came from CHIRLA, my second home, literally, because I spend most of my time there. So I had to thank my family for that, and then also this wonderful organization that.
I think our boss, Antonio, he really laid it down the line when he said a lot of people build cars and a lot of people build homes, but what we do is that we build people. And so for that realization to hit you, you really know that we're not just doing a job. This is part of our lives. And I think there's that white middle class notion that you can just connect from your 9-to-5 job, and you can go home and just relax and be yourself and do self-care. That's not the case as organizers, especially with youth organizers, who we not only have to deal with our trauma as undocumented people, but also take in the trauma from all these different families and all the different youth, because the youth are hurting right now. The youth are tired. The youth are ready. They're agitated. They see all the different things on TV and so especially social media, how the government is tearing away families, tearing away Black lives, LGBT folks, all these different communities that are under attack. And so they want to do something and they want to get involved. And so for us, it's really taking that in and leading them as well, even when we have to teach ourselves at the same time that we're showing them. And the only way that we have survived, I think, is through our community support.
How can people get involved? So do you guys have a Facebook page? Do you guys, do we go to your website? Do we go to CHIRLA.org? Where do we find you and how do we get involved?
So for the California Dream Network, we have our Facebook page.
Okay.
You just type in CA Dream Network and you can see all of our events there. We actually have a huge event coming up. I'm really excited to tell you. So have you all ever been to a retreat?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
I haven't had the opportunity.
But have you been to a leadership development retreat that's only focused on yourself for 3 days?
What?
What
is that?
That sounds intense.
Yeah. It is. I'm putting it together, so it's super intense.
So what's this concoction that you're creating?
So basically, the CDN has a retreat every year, and each year it deals with the different themes. And this year, and what's most awesome about it is that the youth put it together. So it's not what Melody wants. It's I lead the conversations and I guide the conversations, but the youth are the ones telling me what they want to hear. So this year they want to focus on intersectionality. So they voted to have the retreat at UC Irvine. So we have about 150 folks from all over California come together for 1 weekend. It's going to be hopefully the third week of October. And you'll see all the information on our Facebook page.
Do you guys have a limit of how many people can attend? What's the process?
Yeah, as soon as the link is up, make sure you sign up, and it's only a $25 fee. And actually, with the $25 fee, you become a member of CHIRLA.
Really?
Yes, and becoming a member of CHIRLA has so many benefits. You get to go to all these different conferences where you actually learn to know your rights, so you become empowered every week. We have our membership meetings every third Wednesday of the month. We also have a lot of events where we take them to Dodger games or soccer games. We encourage them to travel with us to Sacramento to do legislative visits. And the $25, it's a one-year membership, so you don't have to pay every month. Which I think it oversees the price of the membership.
It's extremely affordable. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds super awesome. I really did want to have a conversation as well about getting involved. So college students and high school students are busy, just like our parents are. So can you describe what getting involved looks like? Is it just like marching at the front of the line every time with the microphone in your hand? Like, what does it look like to get involved?
I can speak I guess, for high school students, right? Like, high school students are busy Monday to Friday, and then they have curfews. But that doesn't mean that you cannot get involved. There's also weekends. So we do a lot, for example, right now we're doing a lot of canvassing, which involves knocking on the voters' doors and letting them know, hey, November 6th is coming up, go out and vote. And that's in the mornings. So they can come to our office if they're interested, get more information, or they can email me and be like, hey, I want to volunteer, and at the same time get community service hours, something that they need for school. So they can email me at Kathia Garcia at CHIRLA.org.
And similarly to the CDN as well, if you want to, so the retreat is obviously one of our biggest things, because that way folks can come and we plan out what we're gonna do for the next months. But it includes that. So we don't just throw people into like these different protests or events or legislative visits or trips. We actually empower them first. We would never have them do anything that we wouldn't do. So we're right there with them in the front lines, and we put and place these folks wherever they feel the most comfortable. So one person may be good at doing artwork for our office, but another person may be good at doing chants. So we really try to bring them out of their comfort zone and see what they feel the most alive in.
Well, you heard it here, folks. There's a space for everyone in the movement. And if you want to get empowered and learn how to be a leader in your community, these ladies are amazing. They're ready to grow the community and empower everyone. If you're young or older, they have organizers. And I hope that you really get involved. Even it just looks like anybody and everybody has a space in the movement. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you next time.